There are many things financially savvy people don't do with their money. Here are the top money don'ts inspired by Suze Orman, a best-selling author, TV host, and personal finance guru who has been helping people make better financial decisions. If you enjoy videos about money, personal finance, and investing, all topics that will help you better your financial future, consider subscribing to the channel. If the video is helpful, make sure to hit the like button to see more videos in the future. Don't be too quick to buy a home. Homeownership is part of the American dream, but buying one before you're able can lead to financial disaster. Many people misjudge the total cost, failing to see past just the mortgage payment. Furnishings, maintenance, and utilities are often underestimated. Sometimes it makes sense to own a home, and sometimes, depending on where you live or your situation, renting is better. That's particularly true if you're in an expensive city. Instead of pouring a lot of money into a property, why not invest in the stock market? That way you can grow your savings, maybe into a down payment on that home of your dreams. A good way to get into investing is through retirement accounts that will lower your tax liability, or with free trading apps like Robinhood. Don't lease a car. If you lease a vehicle, you'll sink your money into several years' worth of car payments and be empty-handed when the lease term is done. Financing is a better option, but if it will take you longer than 3 years to pay off the car, then it's out of your price range. Buying a used car is another way to go. Models that are just a few years old will have great safety specifications in the same audiovisual tech as a new car, at a fraction of the price. Be sure to do your research to limit the amount spent on repairs, fuel, and depreciation. Don't co-sign a loan. When a friend or family member in need asks you to co-sign a loan, the only correct response is to turn them down. Don't be afraid to say no to others and say yes to yourself. When you co-sign a loan, you become legally responsible for paying back the money. Life is unpredictable, and if anything happens to prevent the borrower from repaying a loan, you'll be on the hook to make the payments. Plus, if the borrower is so much as late on a few payments, your credit score can take a hit. However, even if the borrower doesn't get behind on payments, your credit is affected because that loan adds to your total debt, in turn affecting your borrowing ability. Don't take Social Security too soon. Our favorite financial guru advises Americans to avoid early retirement for a very good reason. It's worth it to delay taking Social Security until age 70. Every year you wait between your normal retirement age and 70, Social Security will add a guaranteed 8% to your eventual monthly payment. Delaying Social Security until you reach 70 will give you a monthly benefit more than 75% higher than what you'll get if you start at 62. Living well into your 80s and beyond is no longer some rare event, and you want to make sure your resources will last as long as you do. Don't sell stocks when markets are bad. When stocks are hurtling lower, investors tend to drop investments fast. This is a bad idea. Instead of dumping stock, just keep investing the same amount of money each month, regardless of what the market is doing. Using this strategy, a bad month for the market becomes a good month to invest. A poor market like in 2008 is a great market for opportunities. That's when the fortune was made, and that's when you could buy stocks for pennies on the dollar. If you train yourself to hold on tight through market dips, you'll continue to build a solid portfolio with long-term earning potential. Don't put blind faith in a financial advisor. It's important to have a financial advisor you can trust. Don't think that they're always going to have your best interests at heart, because they probably have their own best interests at heart, focusing on the commission that will line their pockets instead of just your investments. When selecting a financial professional, make sure he or she is a fiduciary, which means your advisor has a legal duty to act in your best interest. During your vetting process, ask advisors about how they'll be compensated for working with you, and about other services they can offer. This will give you a good idea of their motivations when they invest your money. Don't borrow from your 401k. This could be the biggest mistake you'll ever make with your retirement money, especially if you use the money to pay off other debt. A 401k loan is better than withdrawing money from your account, which will bring you a tax bill and a 10% penalty if you're younger than age 59.5. But you might be barred from putting more money into your 401k for 6 months, meaning you'll miss opportunities to make pre-tax contributions that lower your taxable income. Even worse, by taking part of your retirement savings out of commission, even temporarily, you'll lose out on significant earnings if markets rise. Don't let debt linger. You will never have financial freedom if you have bad debt. Not all debt is created equal. Mortgages and student loans can be considered good debt because home loans usually have fairly low interest rates, and your degree is an investment that should generate a higher income over time. However, credit cards have much higher interest rates. The longer you put off paying down your credit balances, the more money you lose. You can easily wind up paying for your purchases 3 or 4 times over. Don't spend to impress others. It's human nature to want to impress others, but this is truly foolish. Buying things to impress people you hate is detrimental to your financial situation. Spending money you don't have to impress others will leave you with shallow relationships and stressful bills. Work hard, invest wisely, and reap your fortune when you've made it. There's nothing more impressive than true financial success. Don't say it's impossible to save. It's common to hear people say that you should consider saving more, only to think that it's impossible because there's never any extra money left over at the end of the month. There's no money left because you haven't evaluated your spending habits. You need to dig deep and be willing to change those habits. Practically anyone can squeeze out up to $100 in hidden money for saving and investing each month. For example, you might boost your home's energy efficiency and cut your utility bills by as much as 10% by caulking drafty windows, putting weather stripping around exterior doors, and switching to energy-saving light bulbs. Don't spend money on things that you don't really need. There's no better way to kickstart your savings than by playing the need versus want game. The next time you're ready to buy something, ask yourself whether you really need it. Is it a necessity, such as medication, food from the grocery store, or a solid pair of shoes for work? Or simply something you want, like another drink at the bar, fast food for dinner again, or a second pair of knee-high boots? If it's a want, just walk away. If it's a need, then buy it. Try this for 6 months and you'll be shocked at how easy it is and how much money you'll save. Don't retire too early. Retiring early is increasingly popular. However, early retirees often misjudge how much money they'll need for the rest of their lives. You could need at least $5 million or $6 million, or you might need $10 million. Anything less might not offer you enough protection from a potential financial catastrophe, like an expensive illness. Don't go without a will. Do you have your estate planning in place? If not, you might want to think again. While everybody needs a will, most Americans don't have one and lack other important end-of-life documents, including a revocable living trust. That's a legal arrangement that holds your property while you're alive and transfers it to your heirs after your death, without the complicated process known as probate. Set up a revocable living trust for passing down your house and other major assets, and draw up a will for your other special possessions, like great-grandma's wedding ring or your first edition book collection. Don't take out a reverse mortgage in your 60s. A reverse mortgage is a type of home equity loan for seniors that allows you to receive the money as a lump sum or in monthly installments. The loan is repaid, with interest, when you die or sell the house. You can take out a reverse mortgage starting at age 62, but that's risky. It's best to treat a reverse mortgage as a last resort for emergency money, and to wait as long as you possibly can before going that route. If you tap all your home equity through a reverse at age 62, and then at 72 you realize you can't really afford the home, you will have to sell the home, and you may end up giving most or all of the sale price back to the lender to settle up. Don't miss out on matching money. If you have a 401k or other retirement plans through work, don't leave free money on the table. Make sure you're putting enough in so that you'll receive the full matching contribution from your employer. Your company might kick in 50 cents for every dollar you contribute, up to 6% of your salary. Under those terms, if the employee contributed $3,000, the employer would kick in another $1,500. That's a guaranteed 50% return on your investment. So, raise your paycheck contributions and start maxing out the match today. Don't stay at a job you hate. 2/3 of workers aren't really into their jobs, And if you're in that group, you're selling yourself short. Staying in a job you don't like is disrespectful to yourself and your loved ones. It's nearly impossible to spend your hours working a job you can't stand and not take it home to friends and family. But quitting may not be the answer. Before you start looking around for a new opportunity, see if the job you have can be modified to address whatever it is that makes you unhappy. Just make sure to frame it properly when you meet with your boss or HR. Tell the management you'd like to talk about how your job might be tweaked so you can be more productive. With the lack of financial education taught, it's easy for people to become a victim of bad money habits that will ruin their financial situation. Avoid these mistakes outlined by Suze Orman for a brighter financial future.